Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentle thems. My name is Gregory Crafts, and I am your dungeon master this evening. Welcome to episode 19? Episode 19 of Brutes in the Shackled City. So excited to have you guys here. If you are watching us tonight, please shout it out in the chat. As you can see, what you say winds up on our screen, and I think that's pretty cool. We've got Mr. Michael Strange watching us on YouTube this evening, and he's commenting that he's enjoying the music. Oh, he's a friend of Tara's. Yay. All right. And he was digging the jazz flute that we had playing earlier. That is the band Red Eye to Tokyo, featuring my dear friend Shiwei Carrasco Wu. It is a fusion of Japanese folk music and jazz, and it's quite the combo. I've been digging them. Been digging listening to them. Oh, and Michael's chatting with us right now. Lauren, he says, yours too, love. So, anyhow, yeah, as I was saying, they are a mix of Japanese folk music and jazz, and I just think it was an interesting, fascinating sound, so I wanted to share it with you guys tonight. They'll be featured tonight. Avalon friend. Michael, wait a minute. Which Michael is that? Avalon. Good
Mike Blazinski.
It's the one you're thinking of.
Mike Blazinski?
Yeah.
Sky, you're watching us tonight?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Fun
Mikey!
fact. My first
How do you
PM.
Okay, how do you know Lauren, how do you know Sky?
Well, we went to high school together. With
What?
Pixie.
With Kixie, of course. Okay. That suddenly explains a whole bunch of different things. So that's awesome. Mike, it's good to see you. I haven't seen or heard from you in like 20 years, man. Oh my god. Thank you for joining us tonight. So excited to have you here. And you know, obviously you know Paul. You'll get to know everybody else a little bit here tonight. There is this really, really weird we could go around, and we'll have to chart this at some point, but there's a really weird nexus between me, Paul, and a lot of different people who either are in this stream or watch this stream, and it's quite impressive and exciting. But so, Mike, so glad to have you watching us tonight, man. Thank you for joining us. Anybody else who's joining us too, please feel free to say hey and shout it out. You know, we'd love to have you. Real quick, actually, while we're on the topic of chat, I know this is a little out of order, but I, as a dungeon master, you know, I have the ability to grant this one thing called inspiration, and basically it allows players to roll twice and take the better roll on a roll of their choice if they have an inspiration point. Typically, you, as a DM, I'm supposed to award those to players as they are, in character, really playing themselves really well or doing something really cool. I don't like to give that out myself, so I like to let the chat do it. So if you're in the chat tonight and you're really feeling whatever, picking up what everybody's putting down, if you're really feeling what they're doing and you think they deserve inspiration, please let me know in the chat, put it out there that they deserve an inspiration point. They will be awarded one immediately and then can use it as they see fit. So with that out of the way, this is episode 19 of Brutes in the Shackled City, and we have finally basically completed chapter 1. We're in the middle of our wrap-up and actually starting chapter 2, formally this evening. So thrilled to be able to do that. And I am just really, really psyched for where this goes next. We got a couple of surprises tonight, and you'll find them out soon enough. But before we get any further, I think it's time to do some introductions here. So I want to start tonight with, let's actually do the opposite. I got it right this time. Yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and start it the opposite side tonight. We'll go opposite around the loop here with, let's start with Mr. Birch.
Well, I'm still reeling from you saying this is episode 19, because that means we've done 54 hours at our level 3. I love it. You are clearly the most challenging dungeon master that's ever lived. I can't believe how slow. I'm playing Birch. My name's Adam. Hi, everybody. This is the most experienced level 3 group you will ever find in the history of D&D.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that later. Let's go ahead and bring it down on, I'm doing this Brady Bunch style. Yeah, I will figure out how I look on camera at some point. I'm only trying to do this professionally. Mr. Nate, Mr. Lorenzo.
Hey, I'm Nate. I play Lorenzo, the rogue. To recap what's happened, he's had a very horrible, no good, very bad week. Being knocked unconscious no less than 10 times. Magical diseases, torture, cures. Yeah, it's been bad.
Yeah, but you know what? You've been a really good sport about it for the most part. So I appreciate that, and we'll see what happens. I mean, there could be advantages to your curse. Who knows? We'll figure it out. All right, let's go ahead and take it down. Continue now with down that way at the bottom there, Matt.
Hello, Internet. I'm Matt. I'm playing Grey Soul, a half-elven cleric. When I'm not busy mortgaging my teammates' souls for favors, I'm talking to a litany of people in my head. And I'm looking forward to getting into some political intrigue and probably saying weird stuff to people of influence within the city of Cauldron tonight.
And just, you could get into political intrigue just with the voices talking to you in your own skull. I mean, that's...
Can and do. There are several arguments going on at any given time trying to decide certain things.
Yeah, like whether to murk your teammates or not. That was a fun one. I like that.
I still come down on a hard no on that for now.
Yeah. And at one point your goddess is going to demand her favor, and who knows how capricious I feel at that moment. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and swing it around back to the other side, and let's bring in Lauren.
Hello, I'm Lauren. I play Tara Firith, the Elven Bard. I'm very excited tonight, as I think I mentioned this, Mike was my very first dungeon master.
Oh,
so I'm very
damn.
excited to have him watching tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. I've been trying to think of ways to bard up more. So
Bard harder. Yep.
Bard hard.
Bard hard too. Electric Boogaloo. Alrighty.
Yes.
Let's get our frontline tank, who I think is one of. I think Nate's been dropped the third most in this party. Let's talk to number 2 on the reigning knockout champion list, Mr. Brick.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? I'm not dropped. I choose to stop fighting for extended periods of time.
And take a break from consciousness. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am Joe. I played Brick, a black-scaled dragonborn warrior. As mentioned, I'm generally the first into doors, often without knocking or checking for traps, which is why I often find myself unconscious and bloody on the floor. And I am looking forward to Brick being a bull in a china shop as we get into our political episode of Cauldron City.
Absolutely. All right, and last but not least, Mr. Paul Feldricken.
Gotcha. Hello, I'm Paul Masterson. I play Sir Feldricken Vorkris, the Golden Scale Dragonborn Knight of the Church of Helm. And today in our courtroom episode, we're going to try and save Mr. Keygan Ghelve. That's what I'm going to try and do. We'll see. We got stopped last episode in the street and called goblins or similar enough to goblins. So hopefully we don't we run into some more expanded minds in the courtroom. But who knows? Hopefully we'll be able to get a good outcome.
How do you confuse us with goblins?
I think
not even lizard men I could get, right? Ignorant people, but like
willful ignorance.
Right.
Willful ignorance.
I mean, he's not wrong. All right. So with that, and man, you guys are getting faster and faster at these introductions. I was hoping to sneak in and taking a couple of quick notes first. But with that, actually, I know how to stall for time. No, not stall for time. This is actually a very important thing. I want to have a quick recap of the last episode. And who feels inspired to do that? I almost feel like Lorenzo should be the one to do it. I mean, he kind of already started it, but let's, if you want to include what happened with everybody else as well in just a really quick thumbnail of what happened last ep.
I believe everyone was scattered about the city while I was unconscious, both literally and figuratively, since I wasn't here that day.
Yeah.
And we came together, meeting some mage from the academy who cured us. Also wanted to know where this all happened down below the city. We all didn't trust him for some reason. We go to bring him down below, and I get attacked by some invisible blood-sucking creature that drops me in one hit in the middle of the street. Then there was a magical cure, which involved a circle and pain and me ending up half invisible but stable, which curiously I want to know if I can now use cursed items and have it not affect me, since I already have it, like some sort of inoculated.
Oh, fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Or make it worse. I don't know. And I believe now we're on the way to I'm not sure exactly where, but it's where the trial thing is happening for Keygan.
That's correct.
If I could quickly interject on Nate's points. For some reason we didn't trust this guy. I just want to say that 90% of the comments I heard about him was that he turned people into chamber pots and then used them.
Also, I overheard them. They basically just want to know where the location is and don't care about us. So.
And Lorenzo, remind us who Keygan is for those watching.
He's the gnome who let the people underground steal people from the city.
Which is why he's on trial, presumably.
Well,
Yes.
he's the master locksmith of the city who was held hostage with invisible killers in his shop, and that they had sent back his nephew's finger, holding his nephew under as a hostage under pain of death if he didn't comply. And his shop was right next to the Blue Crater Academy, which is where all the wizards are. And for 3 months, nobody could figure out where people were being kidnapped from, how they were being taken away. And we managed to solve that in under a day. So we're both that good, and the city's that bad.
I mean, that's a overly simplistic way of putting it, but sure, why not? But I definitely do appreciate everything. Also, I should say that that you guys had gone to the Blue Crater Academy, and they had assembled a bunch of equipment to go delving with the folks from the academy back into the lost gnomish enclave of Zadaroon. Their interest in it is the fact that it is actually a lost artificer's enclave, and it's been abandoned for 75 years due to a condition known as the vanishing, which is a disease that ravaged through the community, forcing them. They couldn't find a cure for it, so it forced them to abandon the enclave 75 years ago. It was lost. The secret of its entrances were lost to time. What most folks didn't realize was that an entrance was actually located in the shop, in the building that became the locksmith shop. And when skulks and dark creepers came out from the Underdark, and they found their way into Zadaroon, they found their way up into the shop and took the keymaker hostage, basically put him under duress by kidnapping his nephew, and forced him to comply with providing them a master key to all the locks that he had sold in the city, which was basically all of the locks in the city, being the one specialist in town that dealt in all of that stuff. So when they had the keys, they were able to go in and sneak in at night and kidnap people either off the streets or out of their own homes at will. The list got to be pretty extensive. It got to be 27 people, possibly more. Some of them went unreported, like our dear friend Wookie. As a result now, when Keygan came back to the surface after delving into the Underdark and helping and working alongside the Brute Squad, fighting for the liberation of as many of the prisoners as they could find, he was arrested and is now standing trial for his participation and collaboration with enemies of the city. And this is a potential capital offense, as some of the folks that have been rescued are pressing charges against the person who assisted the people that took them, or the person who assisted the creatures that took them captive. So with that, and I also want to just say, you guys did send a runner, or did ask for a runner from the Blue Curator Academy to go from the academy to to the town hall and then back, because you guys wanted the guards, because also I should mention that the town guard have been stationed outside of Keygan's shop. They've closed it because it's considered to be a crime scene right now, and as a result no one can get in or out. But the problem is that's the only known entrance to Zadaroon, and these guys wanted to go down there, finish clearing the dungeon out, and hopefully helping find a cure for Lorenzo's phasing sickness. He is currently about 30% phased out of reality, and out of this reality into another plane, and was recently attacked by a creature. His presence on the other plane was recently attacked by another creature, which affected him very much on this plane. And while they managed to break the bond, they kind of split him a little bit, potentially. And he is currently he's about 67% opacity right now. If he was a Photoshop filter, he'd be opaque. So but that is something that we're gonna have to figure out at some point how that's gonna get resolved. And we return with the runner from the Blue Crater Academy, returning to the group and informing them that that the guard will not be released and permission will not be given for you guys to enter the shop at this point, to go back down into Zadaroon, and because specifically the trial for Keygan is about to begin. And actually, you know what? I think at this point, I would like to, get right back into the scene with the runner and just start it right there. But we're going to take a second here. I'm going to let him introduce himself. We are going to bring in Seneca. Would you like to turn your camera on?
I would like to turn my camera on.
I would like to welcome the latest member of the Brute Squad, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Seth Tygeson, playing Seneca. And Seth, as everybody else has just done, please take a second to introduce yourself and give us a description of what you look like, so we know what we're dealing with here.
My name is Seth Tygeson, and I'm playing Seneca Polaris. I am a Tabashi wizard. I am coming out of the Blue Crater Academy, very recently added there. I wear robes that are very similar to the clerics of Nobanian, the lion god. And unlike most Tabashi, because I have some human lineage in me, I have an additional little mane here. So I'm a tall, skinny cat man with a mane, but you probably don't want to call me that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Definitely appreciate that.
How tall? You said tall, skinny. How tall?
6'6".
You're a 6'6" cat?
That is correct.
Wow. Okay.
He's a cat man.
Don't think I didn't do that the whole time I was making this character.
Perfect. Alrighty. So with that, Seneca, if you would like to address the party and inform them of this latest development, we can quickly. I recognize that I'm literally just throwing you in here, but you could basically just give them exactly the same rundown that I just gave in general.
You are the brutes, are you not? Yes. Well, you see the area that you know, the Zatarun, that used to be a lost artificer area. Now, it was closed down 75 years ago because of the vanishing, which, from the looks of you, it seems that you found that. The disease is believed to be incurable, and despite the fact that it was closed down, it seems that there was one secret entrance in the locksmith. I suppose you found that. The locksmith here, of course, after being threatened, showed himself to be less than courageous.
Could you get to the point, Wizard? Are they letting us in the building or not?
They're not going to let you into the building at all, but you may be material witnesses to the trial of this locksmith.
When's that happening?
That's a good question, Greg. When's that happening?
They basically informed you that it's not so much they were material witnesses, although Paul already has an invitation from the Captain Skellerang of the Guard to participate. You just are aware that the Guard won't allow anybody in right now because the person who owns this business is currently standing trial, and the trial is literally about to begin right now. So
Let's go. Lead the way.
Yes, that. I repeat that, so that way we don't have to double up on this.
yeah, there we go. No worries.
We have been trying to get into this building to go save Lorenzo for like 2 hours now, and we're just gonna let it go and go to a trial. Are you serious?
I'm afraid.
Phil, you want me? I can take care of the guards, Phil. We can get down there if you want. We can find whatever we need to
We're
What
also
is your
fairly
name?
confident that Lorenzo is stable at the moment. If we don't want to create an incident with the city guard, I mean, just a
You
thought.
may
Greg, Lorenzo's out here now, right?
Lorenzo is with you guys.
I can hear you.
Quit
talk
talking
about
like
it.
Okay,
quit
so what do
talking
you
about
want
him
to
like he's not there. Just because you can barely see him doesn't
I
mean.
mostly.
He's 67% here.
Sorry. You're 67% translucent. What do you want to do, Lorenzo?
Well, I'm not gonna go kill some guards right in the middle of the street.
I'm not saying you kill them.
So
Good God.
I think also if we can get our friend Keygan to be released, considering we don't have any other gnomish friends to assist in gnomish things in the city below, that would surely be of assistance. Let us go and save our friend, our compatriot from the wrath of probably distressed individuals who are angry and I would guess lashing out at the only thing they can.
Fine. I give the 2 guards outside the locksmith house stink eye. Like,
Big-
Yeah, you're
off.
Yeah,
Only a dragonborn can stomp off, which is pretty impressive.
your lust for killing innocent guards doing their
I'm
job
not
will have to wait just a couple hours.
I will disarm them and we can get. I don't have to kill. I'm very good.
Taking off their arms would definitely kill them.
Let's just go to the trial, get the gnome, come back, help Lorenzo.
I mean,
If
I
having their
replaced
arms
the
ripped off
finger.
would lead to their death, they're in the wrong profession.
I
Just saying.
replace. Oh,
Just have a little bit of
Oh.
fortitude here for city guards.
I mean, it took a lot for me to replace your finger. I don't know if I could do an
They've
arm.
got armor on. It's highly unlikely.
I'm assuming you guys are all walking as you talk.
we are walking as we are having
This is
We-
a walk and
we are
talk.
Aaron Sorkining these.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So
Handing papers back and forth.
you do.
I can see your reputation is well deserved.
Wait till you see us in court. We're We're perfect for this.
So are you coming with us to court?
I think that may be wise. I did not realize your locksmith friend was a gnome himself.
Now then.
That's no mist.
Oof. He's proven really useful for what it's worth. I think we need him.
I'm concerned that he may not receive a fair trial as a gnome.
Ah. Yes, because this city's so tolerant of non-human.
Have you experienced, sir? Sorry, what was your name?
Seneca Polaris.
Seneca. Yes. What do you prefer to be addressed as?
Seneca is fine.
Seneca, have you? How long have you been in the city, and have you experienced much disparaging action against you due to not being a human?
As a tabaxi, traveling throughout this land, you may know the phrase, the term tabaxi, as you usually hear it in common. Tabashi is the way it should be pronounced. That should tell you all you need to know about the discrimination that tabaxi face. You can't even pronounce our names right.
Yeah,
Damn, Feld.
I'm just stumped by this.
Well, I would say I believe you are the first Tabashi I have ever met, as many of these individuals have never met Dragonborn. But yes, Brick and I can tell you we've had some interesting encounters even this past evening.
They mistook us for goblins. For goblins. That'd be me like mistaking you for like a hill giant. I mean,
You have the utmost sympathy. That makes perfect sense to me, and I'm sorry that you too have faced this.
Well, it's nice to meet another like-minded individual.
Alrighty. As you proceed, you manage to go from. We'll take everybody over here. Let me go ahead and throw up the map. There we go. Oh, I have to remember to turn the rain off next time. From the
Tara, you're the only charming one of this group. I can't wait for you to handle this court situation for us.
From the Blue Crater Academy, you guys do manage to get around, walk all the way around the Cauldron, back up to the town hall, which is located on Obsidian Avenue, next to the North Gate, the Farmer's Gate. And yeah, outside, you can see that actually as you approach outside, there's quite the crowd. And there's extra guards around the courthouse. You can see that there is some civil unrest going on here. Folks are actually very upset to find out that one of the conspirators who participated and facilitated in the kidnapping and terrorizing of the city is inside, although they may not know all the details. As you approach, Seneca, you start leading them up the center. Guards immediately cross their pole arms at the door to prevent entry. Sorry, authorized personnel only, please.
I'm with the Blue Crater Academy. These are the brutes. You may have heard of them by reputation.
Guards,
and as
I
you,
am so...
as they look at each other, kind of puzzled, and look back, you do hear a familiar voice ring out. It's fine, Sergeant. They're with me. And Captain Skellerang steps out. So, Feldrican, good to see you. I appreciate you taking the time, making the trip, and I see you brought your associates. Wonderful. Opening statements are currently being made. Most of the individuals that you rescued are here, and they are giving their statements to the Lord Mayor, who is presiding over the current over the hearing. And while all of them speak very highly of you, it does not look good so far for Mr. Ghelve. So, if you and your party wish to have make any statements, I would highly encourage it. I do not believe in seeing. I believe that every person deserves a fair trial, And right now, with only one side of a story being told, new perspective is needed for a clearer picture. Are you and your friends prepared?
I am. I look to the group. Anyone need to do anything else before we enter?
Hit the save point. Have a back.
Yeah.
Save.
Yep. Okay, so you're going to save and then reload after you screw up the dialogue. You're going to reload after you fuck up the dialogue tree is what you're telling me? Is that what you're going to do?
First, we're gonna send Brick in, and he's just gonna attack. He's gonna attack the prosecution. We'll see how that goes.
To see what happens. Just to try it.
Once he's taken them down, we'll start. We'll call for unity, and we'll move forward without a trial.
Guys,
Fair warning,
I know
I
it's
always
much
pick the
I
sarcastic
think there's been enough death.
Yeah.
options.
Woo, spicy hot take. All right, I need a cold beverage after. God damn.
I don't know.
Y'all gonna get some haters going in the comments here. Watch out. So,
I don't know
This
who
is a fantasy game, so that might not work.
Oh yeah, you were gonna say,
I
Adam?
would just like to put it out there that I think Tara Fira should speak for us. She's the best storyteller of the group. She can tell his story better than the rest of us.
Well, I was thinking Feld should tell it because he's the more erudite.
He's a natural.
He's a paladin.
If you could
Spanish
provide
is
some
unquestioned.
music, or back me up with a great song afterwards, because I'll lead with the facts, and maybe you can sway them after, make them feel better once I make them realize they're a bunch of hypocrites.
Should I accompany you with some thrilling background music?
I think that would be fantastic.
Well, I think you should keep it low key, and then when he hits like the bullet points, like it get a real sharp kick in there. It's like
Okay, so this is what this is going to now turn into is going to be a battle rap between you and the prosecution. So I hope you're ready to drop some bars. All right. All right. Well, they bring you to the outside of the courtroom, and the captain escorts you in and takes you into the town hall, past the tax collector's desk, whom you familiarized with yourself earlier. You notice as you pass that there is a stack of new notices prepared to go out that look dated even more recently than the ones that you received merely 48 hours ago.
Good luck finding me. I am off the grid.
Well, these are not addressed. These look like that they're going to be going out and getting plastered around town. But we can cover what's up with that later on.
Wait, is there anyone by that desk right now?
Birch, set those on fire, Birch.
Yes, there is. Yes,
There's people around?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
all right, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Just wondering.
Damn,
Don't worry
sorry.
about it.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry about it. It's
Yep,
cool.
yep. It's all good. It's all good. Mm-hmm. All right. You, they take you outside the Lord Mayor's chamber, and they say, yes, well, as you look down the hallway, you could see seated on benches are some of the other folks that you rescued, and they are prepared to be called as witnesses. The captain turns to you and says, inside that room are members of my senior guard, the Lord Mayor, and the accused, as well as a pair of barristers, one defense and a defender and a prosecutor. One by one, you will be called in, anyone who wishes to speak, and they will take your statements, and they may have some questions, they may not. You will be asked to be truthful and give your best account, your most truthful account of the events that transpired. Are you all prepared to do so?
yes.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Then please wait here. We shall bring you in momentarily. We shall start bringing people in momentarily. As you all find yourselves in a quiet moment, a middle-aged woman approaches. You recognize her as one of the people that you rescued from the Malachite hold. And it looks like at the moment that she has a very she walks with a bit of a limp, and has a very simple stick, a wooden stick that she is currently using to walk. And she approaches Userfeld. Hello, I apologize. I did not get to introduce myself properly when we were in the heat of the moment, and I would also like to apologize for splattering you with that hobgoblin's innards. But Coriston Pike.
Sir Feldrick and Vorcrest.
It's a pleasure to officially meet you, and please allow me to express my gratitude for your rescue and your assistance. You were just in time. I fear that they were getting ready to brand me for sale, and, well, I have enough tattoos and scars to last a lifetime. No need to add another one to the collection, right?
Yes, well, if it were not for the actions of Sir Keygan, we would not have gotten to you in time.
I understand that. And I appreciate that. Yes. Question. I had a proper walking stick. Had my initials on it, CP. I'm hoping that in searching the fortress that you might have run across it, this one is a poor substitute. I would definitely like
yes,
to be
we have it. We had it set aside. We noticed the markings, and it should be at the Temple of Helm. We had it set aside, expecting that it was yours.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then when all this unpleasantness is done and over with, I shall stop by there and hopefully be able to retrieve it. Once again, to all of you, thank you. And with that, she walks back over to where she was sitting and grabs a seat. The door opens, and a clerk steps out. Sondor Ironfold, please. And this dwarven woman stands up at where she was sitting and comes marching over to the doors to the Lord Mayor's office. She is clearly steeling herself for an encounter. She had a friend sitting with her on the bench who looks like she's providing moral support, and the friend remains, and she goes in, marching in.
Before she goes in the doors, I speak out loudly to the group saying, just so you all understand, were it not for the actions of Master Ghelve, we would not have been able to save you.
And she stops and she looks at you and she says, if it were not for the actions of Master Ghelve, my husband would still be here. And she spits at your feet and walks in.
Well, that's not going to go well.
And
Brick spit at her feet back.
Is there anything flammable around?
anything you want to try and melt with acid, Brick?
One move.
I get it.
Yeah. Her friend, a younger dwarven woman, approaches and she says, so you're telling me that you're going to defend that collaborator, that traitor to the city? You're going to defend him. You're going to defend that man. Her husband was taken, sold off somewhere in the Underdark, and so were 11 others. You didn't rescue everybody. Where were you? You didn't rescue everybody. And at this point, people are starting to murmur, and a human gentleman who was sitting, you recognize him as amongst the ones that you rescue, he kind of steps up and is like, please, just have it. No, I'm going to say you're not a witness to this. You need to let us handle it. No. She gives Feld the stink eye and turns around and sits back down with a huff.
Brick is going to turn towards the woman and say, you're right. We didn't rescue everybody. And everyone who was down there because of him. And he deserves to be punished. But for now, we still need him. We still need his help on a number of serious issues that could affect all of you and everyone in the city. When this is all over, he's going to face justice, but it needs to be mildly tempered.
Oh, and you're suddenly the expert in law here. I've never even seen you around here before, sir. So who died and made you the judge?
He's a bouncer. Very good. Very good at it.
I'm gonna hold my hand and say, I'm going to tell you some difficult truths that you may not want to hear. But this city was targeted because all of you do not take care of each other. You are weak because you do not care for each other as neighbors should, as neighbors can. Your fellow citizens disappeared for months, and many were not noticed. You did not treat each other as family, and that is why they came to take you, because they feared not what you would do to assist those who live beside you. And today is the option for you to make yourselves a stronger city, a city that looks out for each other, a city that takes care of each other, and either a city of hope or a city of fear. If you choose to be a fractured city from this day on, those kidnappings will happen again. Your city will be attacked again because they will continue to see your city as one that is divided against itself.
You get a whole bunch of icy stares back at you. Even the folks that look sympathetic are suddenly
Are we in the courtroom?
pretty hardened. No, you are not. You guys are outside the courtroom. Yeah, you guys are outside the courtroom, and yeah, that felt while you might be correct, that definitely went over like a fart in church with these folks.
Phil knows all about that.
Yeah,
Truth.
So yeah, that was a thing that happened, and as you guys can, as you're talking, Feldrigan, you can hear raised voices from inside. Specifically, it sounds like Ms. Ironfold is giving everyone in that room a piece of her mind and her grief over the loss of her husband. A few moments later, she storms out the door, and you can hear, Ms. Ironfold, we're not done with you. And you hear somebody inside say, no, I think we've had enough. Right. And she storms out, looks at her friend, gives you yet another icy death stare, Feld, and just goes off. Marches out. The process is slow. Individually, everybody is called in. And you notice that the only folks that you rescued that aren't here are the 4 children from the orphanage. You don't know what they would have to contribute to the conversation. Other than that could be different than anybody else, perhaps. But you watch as time goes by. After a little while after actually a few hours of waiting, it appears that everyone that was rescued has been called. And at this point, the barrister comes out. The bailiff comes out, and with his list, goes down it, checks a whole bunch of people off. Right. Witnesses for the defense. Is there a Tara Firith present? Tara Firith?
I will nod and raise my hand here.
Ms. Tara Firith, you are requested now to give testimony. Would you please like to come inside?
Certainly.
Very well.
I'll follow him in.
He holds the door open for you. You walk in. This is a rather spacious room. You see, as you come in, the first thing you see is a pair of desks, one on the right, one on the left. Behind the desks are gentlemen in very fine robes. Not wizard's robes, though. These are more scholarly. They both kind of look at you in appraise, and sitting in the middle of, or sitting in a chair at the head of the room, is a rather rotund gentleman with a very fleshy face, red hair, blue eyes, and a mustache. You would think that if it weren't for the solemn occasion, that he would actually kind of be a pretty jolly fellow. And you recognize that he wears the rank badge of the Lord Mayor of the city. Sitting off to the side in the room, off to the left, actually standing, not sitting. It's kind of tough to tell with a gnome. Is in chains is Keygan, and he stands there. He looks pretty disheartened. And has, but he sees you, and he has a spark of hope appear in his eye. Maybe he's thinking that maybe someone will say, speak well of him in this whole thing. The mayor.
I'll give him a reassuring nod.
Okay. Pardon me. And the mayor's got a goatee, I should say. He's not just a mustache, but it's rather, it's a very full, luscious goatee. And he says, please, right this way. And he indicates a witness stand off to his left. And he has you sit, or invites you to sit there.
I'll take a seat.
Okay. You walk up. One of the bailiffs approaches and says, "You swear to give true witness, and only you swear to give true witness."
I do.
Very good. There's a brief glow about you, and give me an Arcana check.
I know nothing.
Yeah, you notice that there's almost like a trick of the light, but it seems like there's a bright flash all of a sudden, and you're just kind of taken aback by that. And one of the barristers steps up and approaches, and he says, "Good afternoon. My name is Barrister Wilfo. I am speaking and on behalf of the prosecution, but fear not. I am here just to merely ask some questions and learn more about the whole story of this situation. So we would like to know what you know about the events that had recently transpired. Would you first like to tell us, from your perspective, what has occurred? Or make a statement, perhaps.
Certainly.
Then we invite you to do so, please.
In what seems like an infinity of time ago, yet not even a week, I
Merely 48 hours.
came
perhaps.
upon... Probably, yeah. Yes. Barely 2 risings of the moon have passed, and yet it seems like an infinitum of time since I heard the strangest sounds of struggle in a dark alley in the recesses of the city's more frightening and lawless parts. I was myself on my way back to my lodgings, my humble lodgings from my nightly job performing at one of the fine establishments here in town, and had myself a fairly successful evening. And suddenly this din struck my ears. I investigated, and a great golden dragonborn was somehow being accosted by the strangest dressed individuals I'd ever seen. Strange masks and costumes. And for a bard, you can imagine I have seen many interesting disguises. This seminal event catapulted me into a most strange adventure. In aiding, along with some of my other compatriots who are waiting outside, this noble dragonborn, I became aware of the terrible kidnappings that have been plaguing the city. Unfortunately, it seems that no one had been paying attention to them until some children became involved. And certainly, children being involved becomes very distressing indeed. However, somehow the guard had done nothing up to this point, even though dozens of people had disappeared. Tasked by the Church of Helm with investigating this unbelievable rash of crime, we investigated where these ruffians could possibly be coming from and how they could be taking all of these people with such little clue, such little evidence left behind. This led us to our investigation of Keygan's shop. While we were there, he seemed entirely distressed, as though some gloom had descended upon him. And so, as we pushed him to tell us what could possibly be so wrong, we discovered that he was being watched and blackmailed by the terrible, deceitful group that had been involved in the kidnappings. They had used his own nephew. They had mailed him a piece of him. And poor Keygan had no choice, it seemed, but to acquiesce. He was distraught. He was ridden with guilt, but had no way out that he could see. We, being a strange and motley crew of adventurers up for a challenge, and certainly with our hearts tender for the problems plaguing the city, invited him to assist us and perhaps make some redemption for his own involvement. He did this willingly, enthusiastically, and very successfully. And sadly, though we were too late for some, we were able to rescue the children and many other people who had been taken. It was a long and difficult journey with many, many dangers, and we came very close to death many times. And to be frank, there is a tangled web woven around this entire escapade that goes far beyond Keygan, or anything really that you can imagine. But, thankfully, we were moderately successful, and we emerged with Keygan and many of the captured people before they were entirely sold and enslaved.
And that is your...
Hashtag Bard.
Hashtag Bard life? Sorry, you cut out for a sec.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bard life. Love it. Okay, cool. Very well. Very well. Thank you for that account, that very detailed and stirring account of this rescue operation. We are certainly grateful for the efforts of you and your friends, who I believe you call yourselves the Brute Squad. Is that what you wish to be known as? Is that correct, Ms. Tarafirith?
It seems to be a name that we have earned in some ways, although I hardly think I could be called brutish by any stretch.
Of course. So someone as easy on the eyes as you are could never merit the term brute to be applied to them. Yes, but your compatriots, of course, they are quite savage warriors. Very, very, very impressive. Now, you spoke of a gloom that overcame Mr. Ghelve when you entered his shop. can you honestly tell me that was because of his hauntedness at the shocking conditions that were being applied to him, the pressure, or perhaps do you possibly think it could be fear of discovery? That perhaps now that qualified mercenaries, such as you and your friends, were in his shop about to reveal his greatest secrets. What do you think is the better answer here?
Well, certainly the former.
And what makes you an expert to make that call?
When we entered the shop, not knowing who we were. I'm sorry?
I said, what makes you the expert to make that call? Are you a master of gnomish emotions and facial tics and these things? You say you speak of a palpable gloom, but can you actually say unequivocally for certain what great weight laid upon this poor gnome's soul? Could it be fear of...
I think his subsequent actions more than proved his emotional state. Certainly, he was afraid. He did not know us at all. We were not members of the guard. We did not seem to be anyone who could possibly help him. And so at first, yes, he was reticent to involve us at all. But once we were able to remove the immediate danger he was in, as there were, it turns out, some of these ruffians in the shop at the time, we were able to allay his fears, his, I think, well-founded caution, and engage him in the opportunity to redeem himself and make some amends.
Well, we spoke with...
and he seemed very happy to do that.
Certainly. And he kind of shoots a knowing look at the Lord Mayor and says that, yes, of course, when someone who is complicit in illegal actions knows when the jig is up, it is always best to know which side of the bread your butter is on, as it were, and an 11th hour switching sides is not unheard of. Objection! Yells the other barrister. Withdrawn. But who is to know what lies in the hearts of men and... I'm sorry? What was that?
I said conjecture.
Conjecture, oh. But then again, who can say what lies in the hearts of men and beasts, right? Right. I would just say that that no one can know for certain what lied within Keygan's heart at that time, or when his nephew was allegedly taken. We did speak with the boy. He does not remember much, apparently, and as I counted, he does have 10 fingers. So I'm afraid I must dispute your account of his assault, my dear. But with that in mind, we can go on ahead and thank you for your contribution and insight in this. I have no further questions. The other barrister steps up and says, Ms. Terrafira, thank you so much for being here. Now, do you know, you say that the poor child was assaulted and had a finger amputated and had it sent back to his uncle as a message, as it were. Do you happen to know why that claim may be made now, yet the child has 10 fingers again at this point, or has 10 fingers at this point?
Well, I can tell you with absolute certainty that having it restored is not impossible. In fact, one of our compatriots lost a finger in the escapade, and it was restored to him.
Interesting. So by magical means, then. Very good. I certainly... and you say that that there were guards watching him in his shop. Why is it that no one else reported these ruffians, these undesirables, hanging around his shop and keeping a watch on him? Why is it that he that no one could detect this distress for so long? Do you happen to know any reason why that might be?
Well, I certainly can't speak to the inner workings of either your political or municipal issues here in town. I'm not aware of whatever corruption may exist, or perhaps willful ignorance, or frankly apathy that may exist within so much of the structure of this city. I am a fairly newcomer here. I can't possibly know that sort of thing.
Were there actually guards outside? I thought it was just the invisible creatures that we fought inside. I don't think there was a
Brick, you're not in the room right now.
No, I'm asking out of character because I honestly don't.
Out of character, it was just the skulk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So that was the only guard that you guys were aware of in the shop, and you were aware of it when it fell straight through. So yeah, that's how you became aware of that. Hey, Paul, how many hit points do you have?
Currently I have 25.
20 noted. All right, cool. What's your AC? No. Okay.
We can have him die during the trial. That'll be amazing.
Yeah. Suddenly, out of nowhere. Yes. Well.
Death from above.
So, Ms. I certainly appreciate where you are coming from. And you, as you give your answer, objection. How dare she impugn the credibility and work of the guard as they searched for weeks for chasing down leads, looking for information about the... Yes. You know, the Lord Mayor puts his hand up and says, sit down. Sit down. I said sit down. Your objection is noted. The Lord Mayor turns to you, Tara, and says, Madam, I don't believe that is what the barrister was asking. He's perhaps looking for more information about the brigands that were holding Keygan hostage. What can you tell us about them, as opposed to the perceived failings, any perceived failings of the guard or this administration?
Well, I certainly don't mean to personally attack anyone. Although I am surprised that what took the guard weeks of searching took my friends and I merely hours. But I will say that it was a formidable foe indeed, because these are creatures that are able to turn invisible and be unseen. They are a terrible creature known as a skulk, for the most part. But of course, they did have more dangerous and unfortunately more visible foes even further within their ranks and higher up that we all had to defeat in order to make the rescue as successful as it was. I will say that it is entirely likely that the laughing... Was it? Sorry, out of character.
The last laugh.
The last laugh. It is entirely likely that the last laugh is also involved. From what I hear, they are a fairly new gang, and it's entirely possible that they were working in tandem with these creatures. It seems that the creatures who performed most of the kidnappings were these skulks, which is why they were able to leave no evidence. Not even a fingerprint or a hair, because I don't think they have those. And it was an incredibly sophisticated network that I believe probably exists far out of reach of Cauldron, and that this may just be the latest of their operations.
Interesting. Very good. Very good. The defense turns to you and says, "No further questions. The Lord Mayor turns to the prosecution and says, "Permission to cross-examine." Granted. Yes, Mr. Firith, you bring up an interesting point. You and your compatriots were able to crack a case in mere hours when the guard had spent months searching down leads. How is it that you managed to do that? Could it be that perhaps you were business associates with those involved here and were done wrong in a deal, perhaps, and chose to, I don't know, bite the hand that feeds, or get a measure of revenge if you weren't able to get a deal as satisfactory as you want? I mean, I just don't understand how months have gone by, and in a few hours you managed to crack this case wide open? Oh, please tell me that it's simply because you're just that good. It's got nothing to do with perhaps privileged information from already being involved in this. You are a newcomer to this city, after all. What brings you to Cauldron?
Well, I am but a simple bard.
Oh, a
And
simple
most
bard.
of what I do and get involved with really has to do with my desire to tell a good story. But I can tell you unequivocally that I had no foreknowledge of anything that was going on, and I don't think my companions did either.
Then how did you know to go to Keygan's shop? Where did you know to find the entrance to the lost gnomish enclave of Zadaroon, which has been lost to everyone for over 75 years? How do you know so much, newcomer?
Much of what we discovered came from a very successful partnership with the Church of Helm. Do you think they might be involved?
I don't know. That is what we are trying to
Because
discover
I would
here.
assume that an organization as immune to spurless charges as the Church of Helm, a beacon of goodness and light,
Perhaps too immune.
could
Thank
be
you. No further
not
questions.
possibly be involved.
And he turns and walks off. The Lord Mayor turns and says, "Thank you, madam. You may go."
I'll remove myself from the courtroom.
Okay.
Put an arrow or something to die.
The bailiff comes back out and following out Tara. He's looking at his list. Sir Feldricken. Sir Feldricken?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I stand.
Very good, very good. Yes, sir. You are. Your presence is requested within the courtroom to give testimony. It is your turn.
Thank you.
Very good.
I go in.
They go in. They swear you in. You see a quick flash around the box as you sit down in the witness stand. You want to give me an Arcana check real quick?
I'll give it a quick check. Let's see.
Tara, I was listening at the door. You were great. Really, really good.
Thank you.
18.
I know you're a bard who likes to tell stories. That might have been the most I've ever heard you speak. I loved it. That was great.
Well, I try to bring it when it counts.
Very good, sir.
The roll.
What's that?
The roll is 18.
Yes, I'm aware. I whispered to you what the
sorry.
response is. So,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, you
Sorry.
could check that real quick. And then, yes, they swear you in and say, would you like to give... We've already heard a very detailed account from your companion, Tara. Would you like to provide any other details?
I would.
Please proceed.
I wish that the court would recognize there is a simple fact that were it not for the assistance of Master Ghelve, I can say unequivocally that the rescue of those who were rescued would not have been possible. The factual numbers of the number of individuals that we felled during our rescue were some 40 hobgoblins, approximately 10 skelks and dark creepers, as well as one truly august and deadly half troll, half dwarf with a howler This was not a easy undertaking in any way, shape, or form, and had it not been for the truly valiant actions of all who ventured underneath to save the citizens of Cauldron, all would have perished. I would like to also point out for the record, as Captain Skellerang is aware, that on the night I began my investigation, I was assaulted by 3 members of the town guard. Their identities are not in question, and that there is a criminal enterprise that has been hiring these hobgoblins and that has been operating under the city for some time. Therefore, there are several other concerns that we can speak of at another time in terms of the infiltration and dangers to this city. I wish to reiterate my profound belief as a member of the Church of Helm and as an experienced officer on the field of battle, that had it not been for the assistance of Master Ghelve, both in navigating Zadarun and in his participation in battle, all would have been lost. After we retrieved his nephew, he had the option to flee. He did not choose to do so, and at great risk to himself, continued in the rescue effort. I can speak from experience, stating that many people wish to believe that they are brave in the face of death. Nearly no one I have ever met is, especially when they are alone. I, as an experienced dragonborn warrior, was dropped in an instant by the assassin that was guarding Master Ghelve in his shop. This speaks to the danger and the deadly force that he was living under. I also know that nearly no one in the city would ever say that there is anything that they wouldn't do to protect family. That is one of the most inherent characteristics of all civilized creatures, and that is what Master Ghelve was doing. Cowardice is not a crime, and choosing to be brave when one is given the opportunity must be recognized.
A very, very, very bold statement there, Sir Feldricken, and your perspective as both a warrior and and as a knight are both certainly appreciated and respected and held in high regard. And of course, we are grateful for your efforts here within the city to rescue its lost sons and daughters. Now, may I ask what church or what order, knightly order it is that you are affiliated with, sir?
The Church of Helm.
The Church of Helm. Interesting. And you, sir, can you perhaps shed some light on a question that we asked your associate, and she was not willing to share this information with us? How is it that she credits your organization as being able to crack a case open within hours, mere hours, when the guard had been investigating these disappearances for weeks, if not months? What is it that the church was able to do that the guard cannot? I'm dying to know, sir.
Well, there are 2 things, sir, that we did. The simplest is to actually follow the clues to the lockmaker's shop. The second thing, if they had requested aid from the Church of Helm, would have been to consult with one of our relics. This request was not made. This is the second action that was not taken.
You have a relic. What is this relic?
It is well known that the Church of Helm has a Star of Justice. This is no secret.
I'm sorry, the what did you say?
It is a relic of our order.
Hmm.
Now, whether you believe in it or not...
So you're telling me that the Church of Helm had a magical relic that could give them, magically, information and leads as to where to find our missing citizens, and they did not volunteer this sooner? Why is that? You had the power to help us sooner, and yet you wait for months and months, sitting idly upon your hands without sharing this information with us. Why is that, Sir Feldricken?
Your assertion is false, sir. A man dying of thirst sitting beside a stream who decides not to drink of the stream it is his fault, not the stream's, that he dies of thirst.
Yes,
Had
well,
you actu-
had the stream been hidden from plain view, you could not blame the person for sitting there in ignorance and sitting in
It
the
is not-
darkness of... It is
It
what?
is not hidden from plain view, nor is following simple clues of asking a town's locksmith and searching throughout a city for those who are able to gain entrance to
Yes,
different
about
areas.
that. Our records indicate that the guard interviewed Mr. Ghelve no less than 4 times, and yet every time he was unable to provide them with answers or give any sort of indication that he was under any sort of duress, and yet when you magically walk into this room, you are assaulted by an invisible creature, and therefore are... therefore you are...
So do you dispute the existence of skulks and dark creepers?
I have never seen one, sir, so therefore I am not qualified to make that answer. But I am one
Had you
who
ever seen
questions
a
everything.
dragonborn before the last few weeks?
No, sir, I have not.
Does your ignorance of things that exist in the world prevent them from being true?
I always investigate the claims made of others, and I question everything, sir. Now that I have seen you, I have no reason to question the existence of the... what do you call yourself? A dragonborn. I have no reason, but before then I had not even an inkling that you existed.
Sir, I stand in an aura of truth. Therefore, you can see that every word I have spoken is truth.
Ah, yes, from a certain point of view. Were you aware that Mr. Ghelve was interrogated by the guard no less than 4 times and gave duplicitous answers each time?
I am aware that just as of last night, your guard members identified myself and my dragonborn companion as a goblin. So I question the observational skills of these guardsmen, especially when 3 of them were the ones who, working for the last laugh, assaulted me in an attempt to prevent my investigation and finding the missing persons of this city.
Are you now accusing the guard and the Lord Mayor of being involved in this kidnapping ring, sir? Is that what you are claiming, Sir Feldricken?
Were those the words that I used? I spoke quite plainly, stating that I was assaulted by 3 guards members who had been paid by the last laugh in an attempt to prevent me from finding your missing citizens. Those are facts.
And he looks very carefully at the aura around, awaiting a reaction. And when one does not come, he kind of deflates a little bit. No further questions. The defense stands up and says, Sir Feldricken, we thank you for your testimony. We have no questions for you. The Lord Mayor gives you a nod and says, you are free to go, sir.
Thank you, Lord Mayor.
And Sir Feldricken, I believe that you are considered by many, and forgive me for the Lord Mayor speaking up, by the way, as you're getting ready to leave. He says that you are considered by many to be the leader of this group. I would like to have have a meeting with you within the next day or so. I think we have much to talk about.
We are a companionship of like-minded individuals who seek to help those in need of assistance. But yes, I'm sure we would be happy to meet with you.
Very good. Very good. Then I look forward to that. Good day, sir.
Good day.
Barrister comes out. Sir Greysoul.
Greysoul stands up.
You're brought in.
Oh.
You are. They bring you in. They sit you down. They swear you in. You see a brief flash. Give me an Arcana check.
Coming up.
Yeah, you just see.
That's a 4 because of my disadvantage.
Copy that. You hear. Okay. You hear a voice in your head that says, I don't trust them. This field, it could vaporize you if you are not careful. I'd be very cautious of this. I don't trust them. I don't trust them, Corbin. The barrister the bailiff, keep getting him crossed up, stands there and says, may I have your full name, sir?
Corvus Shea.
Very good. And you swear to give a true witness and full account?
I do.
Very good, very good. Then we shall proceed. The prosecutor stands up and says, "Mr. I'm sorry, you said your name was Corvus Shea. We have it as Gray Soul. How do you reconcile that, if you don't mind me asking?"
It's what we in the adventuring business refer to as a nickname.
A nickname. Very good. And why is your soul gray? That's such an interesting nickname.
Well, as a child, I was very kind of even-keeled. I didn't really react too intensely one way or the other, and so the priest who raised me just kind of said I had a neutral gray soul and stuck.
Priests who raised you? And what order are the priests who raised you?
They're the Order of Lyra.
The Order of Lyra. I am not familiar with her, sir. May I ask, what is the ethos of this order?
She is the goddess of illusion and deception.
Deception? Fascinating. And how is it that we can know that you are not deceiving us? Well, I already know how we know that you are not deceiving us at this time, but you are aware, sir, that you are within what is called a zone of truth. We will know automatically if you are lying.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to melt me, isn't it? It's the word on the street. I'm not interested in getting melted today, sir, barrister, whatever.
Mm-hmm. I assure you, sir, that our methods are not nearly as violent. Oh, they might be. And you see a flash go off around you.
Okay.
Interesting.
Can I touch it if I'm like... No? No?
You don't feel anything, but it's like, it's not supposed to go off when I'm speaking. Did anybody else see that? It's not supposed to go off when I'm speaking. I think this one wants to kill you, Gray Soul. Be careful. And another flash goes off. This is strange. Mr. Gray Soul, just please proceed with your statement. Please proceed with your statement. And everybody is like looking around and very, very confused at your as they watch you, and everybody's watching you, leaning in very, very closely. Yes, please proceed with your statement. We are very interested to hear what you have to say.
What do you want me to make a statement on exactly? My fellow companions have laid a very detailed account.
We would like to know your perspective, and if you have anything you would like to add at this point. It doesn't matter what they say, or what you say, Gray Soul. They've already made up their minds. And poof, another flash. Oh, that's fun.
Okay.
At this point, everybody's starting to look really concerned.
I'm gonna do something here.
What are you inciting?
The flash and the voice in my head.
Yeah. It's basically what you think it is.
What I think? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My statement is that Keygan was forced into his role as a collaborator. Threatened.
So you admit he was a collaborator? That is your word, sir, collaborator. You admit that he was a collaborator. You concede that.
I said he was forced into it.
Mm-hmm. But then he collaborated.
Well, yes, much like the food you clearly shoved down your gullet is forced down there, it then collaborates into your sides. So yes, one follows the other. Had he not, his option was to die. And most people don't want to die, right? That's how I feel. I don't see any lights going off.
Very well. Please continue with your statement.
You were making comments to my fellow companions about his mindset, trying to infer that he was a willing collaborator and that he only aided us because he felt the jig was up and he wanted to land on the right side of the coin.
That is what I was asserting. Yes, that is correct.
Yes. And now when we went to the orphanage and saw that the children had been taken with no signs of them having been abducted, and then we saw 3 master locks made by Keygan that showed no signs of tampering, we thought, I guess we should go talk to him. And that there was the stroke of genius that led us to uncovering the door to Jazzaroon, which was in his shop. But upon, when we got there, he was clearly perturbed, and that perturbation lasted until we liberated his kin. At which point the weight that they held over his head was gone at that point. So it wasn't some nefarious plot or collaboration that he was involved with. He just wanted the safety of his family member. And after getting that, he continued to assist us. Now, it is awful that so many of your townsfolk were taken and that we couldn't rescue all of them. But as I understand it, his life is on the line here, and I don't think he should lose his life for the part he was forced to play in this little drama that unfolded.
They all sit with bated breath, and you hear in the back of your mind, good job, son. Good job. The barrister waits in shocked silence as he watches you give testimony, and he turns and says, Thank you, sir. No more questions. The defense rises and says, thank you, sir. No more questions. And the Lord Mayor says,
This thing you've got me in.
yes.
Can that be permanent?
What are you doing, Gray Soul?
Shut up, asshole.
Keep talking to me like that again, and no more magic for you.
Oh, okay. Please be quiet.
Sir, who were you speaking to?
Who are you speaking to,
sir?
Sir?
I'm speaking to you, sir.
And I'm answering you.
But who did
question.
Did you just call the
Can
Lord?
this thing be permanent?
That is something that you might need to speak with a wizard about, or perhaps a cleric of truth.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I answer any more questions for you, sir?
No.
You sure? Let's test this thing out. I like this. Truth is awesome.
You're walking a fine line right now. Perhaps the favor I call in is that you attack the Lord Mayor. Would you like that? Would you like that, Gray Soul?
That depends. Are you actually my deity saying that right now?
know who you made your deal with? Do you know who you made your deal with, Corvus? Or in your haste did you just sign on the dotted line to save your friends' lives without bothering to read the fine print?
Would seem that I didn't.
I'm sorry, sir. You didn't what?
What?
You're excused, sir.
You're excused.
Right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Graysoul from the courtroom. All right. The bailiff kind of says, "Come along, son."
I put my arm around him and I say, "Sir, let's get to one of those truth clerics."
Right this way, sir. Let's
Whatever this is, I need more of this. I will buy you, sir. I'll buy you 2 dinners.
Sir,
You get
request
me
to
more of
have
this.
his clearly
of
this
this.
man is mad. Request to have his testimony stricken from the record as the door closes behind you. The bailiff follows you out. A brick, please.
That would be me.
It is your turn, sir.
Greg, quick question. I'm assuming we can't hear these conversations.
I'm going to say that you guys have been able to hear. I'm going to say that you guys have managed to hear a bulk of this through the door simply because I don't want everybody giving the same damn story over and over again. Make it easy. So that'll do.
So we went to the locksmith's house.
Yeah.
So, a week ago, I arrived. When I first got to the city, I spent 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're brought in. You're sworn in. You see a flash go off around you. If you want to make an Arcana check, I can tell you what's up.
Yep.
Yeah, you saw a flash go off, and you're like, what? What? Yeah, you have no idea what that was. They swear you in, and the barrister, the prosecution stands up and says, "Sir, would you like to give your statement? Anything you would like to add? I'm sure you're familiar with what your compatriots have expressed here. Is there anything you'd like to contribute to the ongoing dialogue?"
Keygan was faced with a situation where he could save his nephew, someone he knew, or strangers. I can't speak to how much he knew as to what was happening when all this first started. But I won't blame him for choosing to save someone he knew over someone he didn't. Obviously, we didn't save everybody, and that's on him, and there needs to be consequences for that. But I think they should be heavily mitigated by the assistance he gave. I do not think it would have been possible for us on our own to navigate a gnomish city with extensive locks, traps, completely unfamiliar to us, completely unfamiliar, I would suspect, to most people in this town. We rescued his nephew, and at that point he had a chance to leave, and he did not. He stayed with us, he continued to fight with us, and in a number of battles turned the tide. And I do not think he should be allowed to walk away scot-free from this. Again, there are, my understanding, 11 people we did not rescue, and we do not know where they are. And that was his choice.
My count is 12.
12. He made a choice. He chose to save his nephew over strangers, and I won't judge him for that, but that comes at a price, and that price will be the punishment levied in this court. That said, I believe it needs to be mitigated. He had a chance to leave when he had gotten his nephew back, and he did not. He risked his life to help us.
The barrister the prosecution stands there and says, "So you believe that he is culpable?"
Yes. Perhaps initially he didn't know exactly what was going on and thought perhaps, he could he didn't know the consequences. He just wanted to rescue his nephew. But at some point he must have realized what was happening, and the number of people that came through his shop, he had to make a decision and weigh the lives of a number of strangers over the lives of his nephew. And again, I don't blame him for choosing blood over strangers, but that choice came with a cost, and the cost is what's going to happen here. But I don't think he should be put to death. I don't think he should, be in prison for the rest of his life. But yes.
So you believe that the lives of almost 30 people are good enough for, is a suitable price to pay for one gnomish child? Is that what you're telling me?
That is the decision that he made. I believe my compatriot Feld made a very eloquent statement regarding that sort of choice. Being here, it is no crime to be a coward, but something heroics. Again, it is up for each of us to, if we are in that unfortunate position, to make that decision. If I was in a situation where Feld had been captured and people were threatening to kill him, and I knew that the alternative was sending dozens of people, into danger, that I couldn't say exactly what that break point would be, but there's a break point, yes, where I would sacrifice others to save Feld. And there is a break point where it simply would not be worth the exchange. And I know specifically with Feld that he would not. Me too. You're rolling your eyes. I'm curious, sir. Have you ever been in battle yourself?
I have only been engaged in the battle of the courts, sir. And believe me, this battlefield can be quite as dangerous. It can be just as life or death as any battlefield with a sword. But unlike you, while you get to pick and choose who you fight for, I have to stand here and fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. Those who have been lost due to the complicitness, due to the choice that was foisted upon your friend here, where he chose to knowingly let 30 people be dragged from their beds and sold into slavery.
I don't contest any of that, but you agree that it was foisted upon him. He was forced into a position to make a choice, and
he continued. But the difference, sir, in our perspectives here, and I would like to point this out, is that he continued with that choice.
He did.
For 3 months. As more and more people, as the price got higher and higher, he continued to sit with his choice for months and months and give no sign of duress, give no indication of the stress that he was put under. He complied knowingly and refused to alert the guard, refused help. But you're aware of that, and you, even in your own words, admit that he is complicit. I have no further questions. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
The defense kind of stands up and is little heavy as he looks at Keygan and looks at you, and he says, as a warrior, you know the price of you understand the nature of the iron price.
Yes.
In battle and in other terrible situations, you are forced to make difficult decisions that affects the lives of many. Sometimes you make a decision that affects the lives of many to save one. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is it easy for you to do that?
No.
Have you done things on the battlefield that you regret?
Absolutely.
What do you think of the situation that Keygan was put under?
It was an unfortunate situation, and as the prosecutor said, he had to weigh his options. He could save his nephew, or he could save others. And as time went on, those scales became heavily unbalanced. Maybe initially it was just 1 or 2 people, and he thought he would get his nephew back. But as the prosecution said, 3 months later, dozens and dozens of people were gone, and he still didn't say anything. That said, in the end, he ultimately made a choice after his nephew was safe, when he could have left, to attempt to make some amount of recompense for the choices he's made. And I'm not saying that that absolves him entirely, or necessarily even mostly, but it does absolve him to some degree. Absolve is the wrong word, I'm sorry. But he made a choice to try to make right what went wrong. It does not clean the slate. There is still punishment that awaits him, but that punishment needs to be balanced by the good he did, regardless of how late down the line it came.
What? Thank you, sir. Thank you for your testimony.
You're welcome.
I have no further questions. I have one more question. Mr. Brick, if you are so familiar with the scales of justice and are so wise in the ways of the balancing justice and the price that one must pay for transgressions, what would you consider to be a suitable punishment for this case in a what would otherwise be a capital offense? What would you consider to be appropriate punishment?
What you're seeking now is the death of Keygan?
This is a conspiracy and collaboration with enemies of the city is a capital offense, yes.
I mean, it would be imprisonment for a long time. He has skills and ability that are still helpful, that can still help the city in a number of ways, and I would put those skills to good use, but I don't think he needs to be imprisoned forever. But, you know, as you pointed out, there's 12 people that we may never see again, in part by the choices he chose to make. Decisions have consequences.
Very good, sir. We thank you for your contributions to this conversation. You may go. And the Lord Mayor sits and just really considers what you have to say, and they wave you out. Mr. Birch. Mr. Birch. Birch?
That's me. Hey, hi.
Ah, yes. It is your turn if you wish to give a testimony.
Okay. When we go through the doors, is there an audience? Are there people watching this?
No.
No, it's just the three, like...
It's the Lord Mayor, the two barristers, and Keygan, and the and the bailiff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. In
Okay. Oof. All right. With every step, with my stick hits Druidcraft leaves falling down in front of me that I'm walking through that disappear almost instantly.
there. Very good. Okay. They are quite impressed. Magic.
Lord Mayor, before we start, you're the Lord Mayor and the judge?
Yes.
That's impressive. I'm new to this town. I don't know how any of this works. That's amazing. That's a lot of work. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. Have a seat, sir.
Have a seat. Okay. All right.
Yep. You swear to give true witness.
Yes.
You see a flash go off around you. Give me an Arcana check if you want. All right.
That's bright.
Cool. Yep. Now then, as you have heard your compatriots give testimony at this point, is there anything that you would like to add?
Well, I can't speak to all that happened before we arrived. I wasn't there. I can only tell you what I saw and the actions that Keygan took that I bear witness to. He was under duress and under threat of his life by an invisible creature that we fought and killed. And the second that creature was unable to threaten him anymore, he immediately risked his life to go downstairs. Now, you haven't been down there yet, because no one's been down there except us, as far as I know. And so I want to tell you something about that place. It's awful. Literally every door, every hallway, every archway is trapped. And in every room is 3 secret rooms that are also trapped. And you know who made those rooms and those walls and everything? Are gnomes. And Keygan was the only one in our group who could read any of that stuff. So he saved our lives, I don't know, countless times. And so I don't know, he was under duress. Maybe he made some poor choices to save his nephew. Seems all right, save a kid. But he saved our lives over and over again because I couldn't read that stuff. I know tons of languages. I have no idea what any of that said. So let me just put it like this. He risked his life.
When you say you know tons of languages, how many languages does Birch know?
Well, it depends on how you define tons. I'm very impressed with myself. Druidic and Elvish and Common, it's not so bad.
Give me
I know a few languages.
Give me a wisdom check on that.
Oh, well, I can do that. All right. Okay. Take that, why don't you?
I will say that you believe that that's enough to not trigger. You believe in that enough to qualify that it doesn't trigger.
I'm very proud of the languages I've learned.
All right, keep going.
My point is just this, that he risked his life. The second his life wasn't in danger, he put it in danger to save others. And then we found his nephew. And what did he do? He didn't go up with his nephew right away. He stayed with us. And he put his life at risk. We were attacked multiple times by creatures I've never seen before. I don't know what those things are. They fought us. Some were invisible. And yet he did it. He put his life on the line for others after his nephew was saved. So it wasn't just about the nephew. I think he did his best. So here's my thought. You're Lord Mayor. You're also judge. You've got 1,000 other jobs, I bet. Overworked like hell. So here's my suggestion for you, if you don't mind.
The Lord Mayor turns to you, quite interested in what you have to say now.
I don't think him being in jail helps any of us at all. You have underneath your city great darkness, great danger. There is right now a creature we didn't kill. It has a beak and tentacles. A beak and tentacles. Now, I don't know what the hell that thing is. It creeps me the hell out. I haven't seen it. My friends have seen it. It sounds bad. So here's what I propose. You need a gnome.
I am all ears, he says.
You need a gnome to go down there and help us clear that place out. So these things, like things with beaks and tentacles, don't come up and attack your city. On top of that, the School of Magic. What are they called? I don't like them much. The Academy? What?
Blue Crater Academy?
Yeah, they rub me the wrong way. But look, they're very excited to get down there. They want to go down there. They think there's magic they could use, maybe to help everybody. That'd be great. But they can't get down there yet. They need a gnome who's been down there, who knows all the traps, who knows how to keep them safe. I say, make Keygan do it. He would hate that. That's more than enough punishment. He's going to hate going down there again. Make him help us and the Academy go downstairs, clear this place out, make it safe for the city. That seems like great punishment. Besides, look, half of this town thinks it's his fault now, right? He's not going to get any business. His business is ruined. That hurts his career. How much punishment do you want this band to take? His nephew was taken. A finger was sent to him. People are gone. I think he's done plenty. Send him down there to do that. That's enough. Put him in jail. What good does that do? It doesn't help any of us. He's just in jail.
We thank you for your contributions to the conversation, Mr. Birch, and we shall take your suggestions under advisement.
Thanks. Anything else? This is nice.
No, I think your insight has proven invaluable. You say that it was a beak and tentacles, and that it was incredibly dangerous down there.
It had a beak and tentacles. And I'm telling you, that wasn't the only tentacle thing in there. There was a closet. Now look, I was a mouse. Believe it or not, I can turn my... I'll show you on my way out. I can turn into animals. That's a thing I do. I was a mouse, and I went under the door.
You can
and
spare
there
us the
was
trick,
this
sir.
Tentacles? Tricks?
Yes, you could spare us the illusions, but if you have a point that you would like to get to...
My point is there were things with tentacles down there, and I don't think you, as Lord Mayor and Judge, and probably a dozen other things this town's require of you, you're probably overworked, am I right? Here's what I'm saying. It's dangerous down there, and you need help. And make this gnome do it with us, and maybe the people from the academy, so that you and your town folks don't get in danger anymore. That's what I think. And I'm gonna turn into a mastiff and walk out as a giant dog.
First off, you are awarded inspiration by the chat. Second off, Feld, you get a belated inspiration for the chat. Just letting you guys know. Thank you. Sir, just let him go. We're good. We've got enough from him. All right. Finally, Mr. Lorenzo of the family Lidu. Mr. Lorenzo, are you here?
Yes, here I am.
Very good, sir. Come on in. They bring you in. You sit down in the chair. Sir, would you like to? You do swear to give true witness?
I'll be as honest and transparent as I can be.
They laugh at that. Yes. We have heard about. We've been notified about your condition, and we are very sorry to hear about that. We hope that
yes, a condition that is entirely the fault of Keygan.
Do tell, sir. Do tell. Please give us. What would you like to add to this conversation?
I'd like to say first that Keygan's treachery goes before anyone was kidnapped. He had made a master key that could unlock any door in Cauldron, putting thousands of people at risk. And to this moment, that key is still missing.
Ooh,
so not only then, when we found him and got into the lair below his house, we had to persuade him to go with us. It wasn't altruism and, out of his own good. We had to threaten him to move. And I believe, as other people have said, that his motives to continue on down below were purely altruistic to help out. I believe he was after that key to hide his tracks and his involvement.
Well, sir, I have no further questions. The defense barrister, clearly shaken, stands up and says, "Sir, you do understand that as a locksmith, a master skeleton key is part and parcel of the trade."
Oh, is giving that key to people also part of the trade?
But as we established, he did not give that to them freely. Is that correct?
No, he decided to put the risks of 4,000 people up there over his own.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
Are you sure?
I quite sure. Quite sure. Keygan is just like, he just sits there and yeah. And the defense stands up practically giddy and is just like, I have no further questions, sir. You are. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Oh no, it's just I've as a citizen of this town, I like to see its people safe.
As do we, sir. As do we.
Yes.
And we thank you sincerely for your contributions to today's conversation, Mr. Lidu. We apologize for any for any duress or problems this may have caused you, and thank you for your participation in the justice of the city. You are excused, sir.
Of course. And I'll get up and leave.
All right. Well then, we shall we shall take a few moments to consider the final dialogue and the final debates, and then a sentence shall be rendered. But we shall come to the sentence after this break. All right. And we are back. Thank you guys so much for joining us or coming back with us, sticking with us through the break. Once again, big shout out to the folks at Red Eye to Tokyo. Thank you guys for sharing with us your music tonight. So glad to have it. Really, really appreciate it. And just sounds awesome. I don't know. I'm digging these guys. I hope you guys are too. Yeah, and as I mentioned in the chat and a couple of other places, if you are interested in having me run a table for you, I am a dungeon master for hire with Mastermind Adventures. And if you dig my style, if you're having some fun tonight, please consider booking me for an event for you or your friends. I have a number of one-shots that I'm offering this month. I also have a brand new epic Mega Dungeon West Marches campaign that I'm starting up called Secrets of the Barrowmaze. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It's a persistent world campaign where basically I'm going to have up to about 50 players, hopefully build it up to that, and you know what the actions of one party, what one party does in the dungeon carries over for everybody else. So you know there's no resets or anything like that. It's going to be epic persistent world. It is we're registering players for that right now, and you can check it out on my website. I will also throw a link to information about it in the chat right now. For whatever reason, the Restream chat does not seem to want to be taking my messages anymore. So I'll go through individually a little bit later on and put those links out. But check out gregorycrafts.com for more info on my dungeon mastering, my availability. But got, 6 different mods available this month. 2 of them have a free one-shot code associated with them. So if you click on the blog, check them out. I recommend Jailbreak. Paul, you've played Jailbreak.
I have, and I loved it. I played. I recommend Jailbreak for people young and old. I played it with my 3 nieces,
and they were awesome, by the way.
And they loved it, and they solved the riddles really quickly.
Yeah, they did. They were disturbingly smart. Like it made me feel like an idiot. I was like, I should have done something harder, But yeah, so those games are available. And anyhow, with that, let's get back to the stuff that's actually we're caring about right now, and that is the continuation of the trial. At this point, you're all Lorenzo comes back out, and the bailiff looks around and says, "Is there anyone else who wishes to make a statement or bear witness in this case?"
I would like to speak.
and you, sir, may I ask who you are?
Seneca Polaris of the Blue Crater Academy.
Very good, Mr. Polaris. I shall let the Lord Mayor know that you wish to make a statement, and we shall bring you in. He disappears for a moment, comes back out. Mr. Polaris, the court is willing to hear your petition.
Excellent. Thank you. Greg, can you remind me what gnomish sounds like in this campaign?
Fuck you.
I remember it being in the stream, and
Oh,
man,
God.
if I don't remember what that sounds like.
Yeah, basically. Oh, no, because there's also undercommon. And undercommon is... That's undercommon, and is gnomish. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for the quick reminder, because I had no idea until you said that. All right.
Oh, good.
Dude, that was like 10 weeks ago. You think I watched these episodes after we're done?
I binged everything super fast, man. I was
Oh,
just doing
God.
my best to try and keep up with you guys.
Oh.
Wow.
I am so sorry. All right, so you had to deal with all the early episodes with all of our audio problems. God help you. Oh man, you must have gotten tired of all the bitching, my bitching about tech stuff. Anyhow,
No way. You watch it at 2x speed, and it just flies by.
I love it. Oh, I'll keep that in mind. Alrighty, so they bring you in, and they give you a seat. They put you in the box, and yeah, you automatically recognize the fact that before you even sit down, that there is a zone of truth around the witness stand. You wish to give true witness, correct?
Yes.
And you swear to give true witness. Very good. What would you like to say, sir? Oh, first off, who are you and what is your relation to the accused?
My name is Seneca Polaris. I am a wizard studying at the Blue Crater Academy. I come on behalf of this court, on behalf of justice.
Mm-hmm.
Many, if most of you, will not know the words which I have spoken. This tongue is foreign, despite being widely spoken on your own soil. No few know what it is to be a gnome or to speak with their words. But we will know the meaning of these words. Justice is balance. You may not know one such as I, yet I come to you as I am. Not as a member of the Blue Crater Academy, not as a sapient creature of faith. No, I speak to you as a Tabashi. My people were brought here in chains across the trackless sea. I was born to those who escaped, but few have gazed upon the face of a free Tabashi. My people carry the scars of bondage visited upon them by your people. It is from this perspective that I speak. Slavery is a unique evil to the sapient races. No beast enslaves another. Indeed, only insects, those lesser than beasts, enact such evils on one another. And to deny the freedom to determine one's own condition is anathema to that which makes us rise above the beasts, instead making us akin to lowly beetles or loathsome wasps. It is an unnatural condition visited on one another, only by the most vile denizens among us, those who have foregone their own ability to choose between right and wrong. When one such as this has turned a blind eye to this eventual state, one that several of our citizens still find themselves in, one of bondage, you may be tempted to sacrifice his life in the name of justice. One who has visited such a great evil as this must surely be irredeemable, so irredeemable to merit his own destruction. Yes, if turning a blind eye to the disappearance and bondage of your fellow sapiens is a crime punishable by death, then let all who ignored or failed to notice those missing also be put to death. Let the guards and scholars who failed to locate them with any swiftness purely by the circumstance of their limitations, suffer the same punishment. No contrition is sufficient, no lachrymose, gallinaceous, exculpatory, to allow those who failed to do everything necessary to seek out those stolen from us. By this account, only those who rescued them are blameless. But if you find no blame with yourselves, finding that your circumstances cannot make you too culpable, then surely you must know that death is not a worthy punishment. You have held yourselves responsible for finding justice for the victims in penance with your own negligence, and so I ask you to ask this gnome of the same. I charge you with releasing the gnome into the care of those whom we can agree are blameless, those that did all within their power to engage the value of his life to seek out and rescue those who were lost to us. You cannot deny that this gnome offered material assistance necessary to their recovery. This much is not in dispute. When given the opportunity to do right, he chose the potential for his own destruction rather than continue to do harm. These are not the actions of an evil gnome. Not the actions of one whose evils are irredeemable. Compel him to do right, and the restitution may be paid in kind. And should he fail, you have your answer as to his mind and his will. Whether when presented with the freedom to uphold justice, it is to do wrong, or, under impossible circumstance, to do right. Thank you.
Hot damn! Hot damn, we're good tonight, folks.
You hear a roar of yes from outside the doors from Feldrican.
And some barking from a mastiff.
Your brief is noted and accepted, sir. We thank you for your contribution to the ongoing conversation. You are excused. We shall now deliberate. The Seneca, you are escorted out. Brutes, you have a moment to yourselves in the outer chambers.
I turn back into a human, and I say, I'm sorry if me being a dog is offensive. I'm sorry. I didn't think about it before I did it. I just thought it looked cool, like as a dramatic effect.
We cannot help what we are, and you are a druid. It is your right to become an avatar of a beast.
Thanks.
I like this zone of truth stuff, but it has uncovered something that we need to discuss after this is settled with Keygan.
Seneca, take inspiration.
Ah, sweet. Okay, great.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't respond to my own name. I'm not used to it yet.
It's okay. It is okay. Yeah, well, I mean, you just dropped a fucking mic in there. I'm just yeah, wow. Yeah, I haven't heard that many SAT words spit in seriousness and rapid fire like that since the last time I listened to Afro. So, anyhow, yeah. You can continue your conversation. So, Graysoul, you just brought up that there is a concern.
Yeah, that we should discuss after this is settled here.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up?
I don't know. It feels like they're out to get him. I don't know if any of this mattered, right? I mean, they want blood.
Well, after a tense few minutes, the bailiff comes back out and says, "The Lord Mayor would like to invite all parties interested in hearing the verdict into this room to bear witness to judgment."
May I join you?
Please.
Thank you.
You're all escorted in. Keygan stands. The bailiffs, the bailiff says, you know, you can basically line up in the back of the room. You guys come in. A few of the folks who are survivors of the kidnapping and are brought in. The Lord Mayor stands. There are times that try the souls of persons of all shapes and sizes. I would say men, but women are tried. I would say humans, but all of us who are sentient beings suffer the condition of being. And as a result, there are times where we are faced with challenges and impossible decisions. Mr. Ghelve, I understand that you were compelled through violence and threat of violence, not just to yourself, but to a child, a loved one, and that you did everything that you could to ensure the safety of your family. And over time, the cost of that decision grew and grew, and you had no choice over that. You had no say over that. You only watched as the numbers increased. And when you were given the opportunity to do right, you did it without hesitation or fear. Your compatriots, your, dare I say, friends, have spoken, for the most part, very highly of you and your bravery. I understand what was in your heart. I also understand that you chose, over a 3-month period, to silently let the price of your nephew's safety grow significantly. 28 citizens were taken into the Underdark. 13 were recovered. Tirvin Wisport, Jorel Sirkin, Asmi Dresker, Shellin Raika, Calthum Sunirish, Zordra Caligar, Tembor Calavan, Lorthan Ironfold, Ricaldo Veskar, Lestor Coldwater, Jelith Sirlana, Elithor Ashstaff, Maple. All citizens whose whereabouts are still unknown, presumably sold into slavery, presumably will never be seen again. And then there are those here who were kidnapped and recovered. But those 12, I must sit here and weigh the loss of the freedom and liberty of those 12 versus the safety of you and your family. You were faced with an impossible decision, as am I. I do not believe that you were a willing conspirator. I believe that you did what you did under duress and under circumstances the likes of which no individual should ever be forced to choose. But justice must be done. A price must be paid for the lives lost, for the harm done. By the authority of my office, I hereby exile you from the city of Cauldron for the term of your natural life. You have until sundown. I have spoken. Justice is done. He slams the gavel on the desk and turns and exits.
Permission to approach the bench before you leave, sir?
I have made my decision.
Oh, it's not about that.
Then, if it is about anything else, we shall speak on it later, when I have arranged an audience with your party through Sir Feldricken.
Okay.
Very good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other important business to attend to with my numerous responsibilities, as I'm sure you are well aware. So, I bid you a good eve. And he leaves.
So is Keygan given over into our custody, or is he basically free to go, or what's where's Keygan?
The captain comes in. He had heard everything. He says, Mr. Ghelve, you will come with me. We shall go to your shop. You will be allowed to take what you can carry, and then we shall escort you to the gates.
What about his nephew?
His nephew has a mother and father who will take care of them, and they are not in this city. Perhaps he can escort his nephew back to wherever his nephew is from, and explain to them why his apprenticeship must be terminated early. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything that you've said, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everything. I hope I will see you again at some point.
Keygan, do you have a relative or someone that you trust that you can sell your property to make sure that the entrance to Zadarun does not become a vacation spot for those who either have ill intent or simply have no business going into such a place?
Well, you need not fear that, Sir Feldricken. The captain turns to you and speaks up. Forgive me for intervening, but in Cauldron, the law states that anything that an exile cannot carry with them automatically becomes property of the city. His shop will now be placed under lockdown, and as your good compatriot Birch here was so kind enough to inform us about the dangers within, his shop shall be sealed, and no one shall be allowed to enter or exit, and any entrance to Zadarun shall be sealed off as well.
May we get a pass to explore the area of Zadarun that may bear knowledge to assist our compatriot in
that is
reversing
something
this
that
issue?
will have to be spoken with the Lord Mayor about, as the shop and all things attached to it are now under his domain, which I'm afraid also includes the Enclave, as it is attached to his shop.
Captain, am I incorrect in stating that the shop is still under the ownership of this gnome here until sundown, as decreed by the Lord Mayor?
Yes, it is. Well, it is not. It is currently seized and under the care of the guard.
I see. But we could perhaps secure a pass through the owner up until the point at which you have escorted him up
The
to the
owner has
confines.
no say in any of those things at this time. The owner is a convicted criminal. So, therefore, it's up to my discretion. We shall speak of that later. But, in the meantime, Sir Feldricken, gentlemen, please take Mr. Ghelve to his shop and prepare his exit. Sir Feldricken, have you made any progress on the... Oh, I only spoke about that with you this morning. How could you have made any progress on the investigations regarding the goblins? It has been... The goblin graffiti artists and other mischief makers have been out in the fog and late at night, we believe that if you would like to make a patrol of the city this evening, perhaps, as the forecast indicates, we shall be seeing more fog. Perhaps we might run into more of these brigands, and I will tell you right now, I will give you a bounty of 2 gold pieces per goblin ear brought to me. I will basically give you license to go hunting within the city grounds.
Hunting for sentient creatures.
Hunting for those who wish to cause damage and harm to the city and its citizens.
How can you know this from their ears?
Well, I imagine that they can interrogate the rest of the creature before they take the ear.
Wait, are you saying you have no goblin residents? None of the
No.
4,000 some?
No,
None?
we have no goblin residents here.
I've never met a goblin. I don't. They're all bad.
Seems that way. The ones coming into
Wow.
the city are.
Okay.
Considering the fact
Seem-
that they've been painting obscenities and graffiti along the city, they've been assaulting and mugging citizens. They're here to do harm. And
Captain-
I will tell you right now, we only want the ones who are doing harm. If one comes in and says that they wish to do trade or perhaps move in here, whatever, that's fine. I'm simply asking for a member of the Church of Helm, a paladin, a knight sworn to uphold law and justice, to persecute those who would break the laws. That is all.
Thanks for the clarification. It felt a little racist. I was confused.
Well, I understand that times are tense and sometimes distinctions must be made, so allow me to be crystal clear.
I appreciate it.
I look at Keygan and say, if you'd like, I'm happy to escort you to the city gates this evening in case there's anyone upset who would wish you harm. Do you have anyone who can also assist you in your journey to wherever you may be going so that you may be journeying safe?
I thank you for that offer, and I will appreciate your escort to the city gates. I believe I will be fine from there.
Well, then we should be preparing. We should go and prepare ourselves. Do you know when the Lord Mayor was wishing to meet, or will he send a runner? How does he often operate?
Typically, the Lord Mayor will send a runner or send a messenger with an offer of appointment to schedule a time. I suggest that when the Lord Mayor makes an offer like that, you clear your schedule.
Yes.
As you can imagine, his time is quite busy, so... Yes. Well then. Shall I count on you for patrol tonight?
I believe so.
Very good. Very good. Thank you all for your participation. And we bid you a good day. And he heads off. What would you guys like to do now?
Seneca, apparently we're going goblin hunting tonight. Do you have plans?
I'm sorry, but perhaps I misunderstood. He said to execute goblins who would do harm. Now, if we find goblins who are, in fact, not willing to cause harm, and are, in fact, willing to join the citizenry, why, we are to leave them alone. Is that not correct?
Feels like he wants us to witness a goblin painting on a door and then to take that goblin's ear. It's a very specific request.
I believe the intention, there is a concern, there is a, the graffiti is speaking of a warlord nearby and basically propaganda. I don't know. We fought many hobgoblins underneath the city who were a very militant band who were in the service of enslavement of other sentient creatures. We know not anything about this war band, but I do not believe there are any peaceful goblin groups in the area. The question is whether these are fanatics or simply pubescents who enjoy graffitiing the city, but it is unclear at this time what they are doing. I don't know if we know anyone who speaks goblin, but the town guard are basically just cutting down anything that doesn't look human. which fortunately didn't turn into a fight between Brick, myself, and the guard last night. But I think we need to find out what is happening, and speaking to a live creature bears far more answers than simply killing, if that was your question.
Sir Feldrakran, I find you to be a just and kind individual. And it is because of this, in candor, I must present that I do speak Goblin.
Excellent. We wish no ill will to those who simply move through the world in peace. It is those who do the opposite who move through the world, leaving a wake of harm and violence to others that we take exception to. My companions and I have only known each other some 2 days, and that was in the enterprise to save children and the captured individuals. But I don't think anyone here takes delight in harming innocents, if that is the roundabout question that is being asked.
If I may be candid, my perception of you prior to this trial was skeptical. But I've seen that you are all on the side of justice, whatever that may mean to you. And it is both on my own behalf and on behalf of the Blue Crater Academy that I do ask that if the invitation stands, that I may be able to join you as one of your compatriots.
I see no objection to it. Does anyone else have any objection?
I actually like the idea of having a mage who helped save my life in this party.
Also, if we're to determine if Goblin is good or bad, it might be good to have someone who speaks Goblin.
Absolutely.
I would be proud to unite with anyone who would do good.
No
one who would do wrong.
How many? You spoke Gnomish in there, I think.
I did.
assume. And you speak Goblin, and you speak
do.
Common. What else do you? What else do you speak?
I can read a great deal many other languages given time.
Okay.
But I have taken careful study of the languages of those who are considered lesser by the other sapient races.
Oh. I like that.
Thank you.
What time is it? How long do we have before our night patrol?
You got about an hour before sunset. If you guys want to see Keygan off, you go to the shop. Or what? Is there anybody want to do anything else before we go further?
Yeah. Brick is gonna go down and find his dock worker friend Philip that he had met outside of the other tavern. He needs to go do. He's basically gonna pay him to do some recon on the Tasker Hills, since having a Dragonborn ask around is gonna be incredibly noticeable. He just wants to see if Philip or some of his friends can.
Okay. So you go over to the Slippery Eel and you're looking for CB.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to see me, so I would like to go check up with my guard friend.
Got it. Okay. No problem. And does anybody else like to do anything else?
Is there anyone who might be willing to show Seneca any of this graffiti to be able to, have a
Actually,
look at
funny you should mention that. Yeah, if you ask in game, I'm sure you might be able to have a ready answer for that. But I don't want to answer on behalf of the PC. Oh, hold on a second. PC seems to be having some computer issues. Lauren,
Let us know when you're
We
back.
can hear you, Greg. Did you lose us?
Lauren, no, wait, we lost Lauren, and now suddenly my.
Oh, yeah.
Hold
We
on.
all hear it. Great.
Yeah.
You
I think we all
lost
heard her
Lauren.
fine.
You lost Lauren.
Oh no, I just.
Oh,
Ah!
No! The world ends in brimstone and fire.
You guys can't hear me.
Tara Fierce finds a gold bag of 500 gold around the corner. Feldekin finds a golden sword with +3 attack.
Plus 10 everything.
Lorenzo finds a
DM isn't here
crown.
in 15 minutes, does that mean legally we're allowed to get as much XP as we want?
Don't go telling Adam that. Seriously.
You've all leveled up. You are
We
now
just moved
level
the milestones.
4.
Just move the milestones.
Thanks.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you guys.
Greg, what's up?
Hey, I heard all that.
Your mic's off, or you might have the wrong
You didn't
device.
miss anything.
Oh.
No, this will work. Hey, Greg, can I have a really cool sword? Yes, Joe, you can. This is I'm shaking my head in shock that you didn't ask me earlier, because that's a great idea, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, no. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me as I say no? All right. Cool. No, we lost Tara there for a minute, and then apparently OBS Ninja ran out of sync on me, so I refreshed it. But I could hear everything you guys said. That's the best part.
Oh,
no.
what? That's crazy.
I know, right? All right, let me get Lauren back in here. I think that'll do it. There we go. Flashing. There we go. Hey, hi, Lauren.
And that part where Earl was saying that we could legally give ourselves XP, like, gosh,
Oh
Earl,
God, I know. Earl's just like
what an ass.
Yeah, where's our donkey, man?
Oh well, I mean, last you guys checked, he was in the shop, but then you brought him back to the church, so he's
In the donkey shop?
yeah. No, all right. So Lorenzo, you're doing one thing. Brick, you're going down to the docks.
Sheriff Earth was showing.
Oh yes. So Seneca, go on ahead and ask your question again.
Would there be anyone who would be willing to show me this graffiti?
Yes, I have drawings that I've made of some that we found on a wall near a tavern. It's cleaned off the wall now, but I do have drawings I can show you.
I've put it up on the stream for everybody else's reference.
Seneca, they also said they had a scholar with them. They've been cleaning this graffiti in the night. They said there were things such as Drakthar is the fog. Murd wrote this. Apparently, that was accompanying in excrement. And Hail Drakthar. I don't know if those names, if Drakthar means anything to you. If I do not speak or I have not studied Goblin.
And Seneca, as you look at this, if you're reading Goblin, then it actually does say Drakthar is the way, or is the fog. Pardon me.
Cool, because as Seth, I'm looking at it and it says, "People is pie pan."
But that translates into Goblin like directly. It's really impressive.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
it's neat. Yeah.
Yeah, people is pie
Can I
pan.
make a history check or an intelligence check history? Because this is 5th edition, and
Yep.
I'm going to break my 3rd edition habits or die trying.
Oh God, yeah, no, you and me both, man. All right, let's go on ahead and make it. Oh, hot damn! Hey, somebody who can roll above a 7. Look out,
Imagine
brutes!
that.
Look out! You guys are about to start getting some shit done. It's gonna be amazing.
We got a big
That's
brain
not
in here.
allowed.
Yeah, big
That's
brain,
not
big
allowed
brain.
in this group.
Yeah.
You have too much intelligence and too high of rolls. Unacceptable in the brute squad.
Don't worry, I'm going to come over there and be like, and my strength will give me away.
We're gonna end the campaign in 3 weeks. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. You guys are gonna start getting through some shit now.
It's like,
Let me
wait,
tell
wait
you.
a second. I thought you guys said you were the brute squad. Like,
We haven't accomplished anything in 3 months. What's
they
going
never
on?
saw us. They never saw us coming.
Brutishly smart.
I'm sorry, we're the root squad. We're a bunch of gardeners.
Yes.
We like.
Oh, got it,
I can tell you right now that you've never heard the name Drakthar before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have not heard the name Drakthar. This is unfamiliar and strange to me.
But I can also tell you that. Actually, I'll whisper it to you.
Is it possible you know what the fog might relate to? That's a strange turn of phrase.
Curiously, Drakthar is not a goblin name.
What name is it, or do you just know that it is not Goblin?
Mm.
I was trying to see whether the fog is ever referenced, and yeah,
Rainbow
Not
failure.
really. No.
Right now. Yin yang.
You.
I think you found the fog, and
Whether
it's
the-
just within your brain.
Yeah.
You do know that that Drakthar is a name that is from the monstrous races, the more monstrous races, but you're not quite sure what it could be. But you know that goblin names are typically monosyllabic, or if they are polysyllabic, they're incredibly simple. You know, like almost two sounds just two really simple sounds put together.
Like boo boo.
Kind of like that, yeah. So Drakthar is a little advanced for that, and it feels like it might be, perhaps you can't place it if it's orcish or hobgoblin or maybe bugbear or like something along those lines. But one of the larger goblinoids, But like a goblin name would be like Pug, Snot, Murd.
Goblin language is fairly simple in terms of its syllabaries. A goblin name might be monosyllabic, polysyllabic only if it's incredibly simple, such as Puck Puck. A name like this is reflective more of a more monstrous race, a bugbear, a hobgoblin, perhaps an orc even.
That would track with what we saw below the city. So it wouldn't surprise me.
So then perhaps the goblins are either being controlled against their will, which I can see that we have an understanding that such people should not be held entirely responsible for actions that they are compelled to perform. Or perhaps they are simply being misrepresented. Everyone is very...
You're saying leave them alive, just cut off their ear?
Perhaps talk to them first.
Ah.
I would say, given the way they're writing on the walls, they're not being compelled, they're just being riled up.
Perhaps that's true, but a confabulation with them might serve us more than simply attacking.
Brick leans over to Feld. What's confabulation?
All right.
I like it.
Suggesting we speak
There's a lot of big words.
You know what's fun is that I don't know that I know these big words until I'm about to say them, and then I'm like, "Ooh, I didn't know I knew that. That's cool."
It sounded like it worked in the sentence.
Yeah.
Typical
At some point,
wizard.
someone in the chat's gonna be like, that's not what that means, Seth," and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah. No, it works for me, and you're selling it, baby. You're selling it. So. All right. So with that, you guys are continue your discussion. Let's go on ahead and do. Let's talk. Let's get to Brick. You managed to mosey on down towards the slippery eel, and you find Blake out front, smoking a cigarette and with a whiskey in hand or a big cigar with whiskey in hand. He's like, "Hey, Brick, how are you?"
Doing good. We found the kids, rescued all the folks, busted a slave ring. So
Hot damn, you've had a busy day.
it's been tiring. Have you seen CB around?
Oh yeah, sorry, you're talking to CB. Sorry.
Okay. And so
Sorry, I
And
shaved my beard. It's been trimmed up. I know you don't quite recognize me when I'm looking like this.
I've got both names, Greg, CB and Philip.
Blake. Sorry, you're talking to CB. So.
But he's Philip. Philip is the dock worker. CB's the bouncer, right? Or the
I know. Oh, Phil is the bouncer. Yeah, but Phil is just kind of like meh.
Okay.
CB works at the docks. Yeah, he's a sailor.
Yeah. So it has been a successful day. The kids been reunited, and as luck would have it, we came across a fair amount of loot in the process.
Oh, you got some loot, huh? What kind of loot?
I did, and I had a business arrangement that I wanted you to consider.
What kind of arrangement?
I'm looking for information.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I sort of stand out in a crowd, and I was hoping that you might be able to help me gather some of that information.
I could for a price. What kind of information you need?
Anything and everything you have on the Tasker Hill family.
Oh, that's a tall order.
It is. It is, and I am happy. I am happy to pay.
What's your beef? Look, man, if you want me to go poking around at one of the top 5 families within the city of Cauldron, I kind of want to know what I'm getting myself into here.
Fair enough. Let me see if you gave me a specific name or if it's just the family. I do not have a specific name. Okay. Brick looks around. Is there anybody else within earshot, like by the doorways or out on the streets that might hear the conversation?
Give me a perception check. You're pretty sure that you're. Well, you kind of indicate to him to like step with you into the center of the street.
I was part of a mercenary group not long ago, and they were slaughtered wholesale. And the man responsible for that is from this family. And I am seeking answers and possibly vengeance. And all I know is that they are a prominent family in town, but I don't know where exactly they live, where they like to spend their time, who they are specifically. I'm just looking for information to get a better sense of what I'm up against. And I'm happy to pay top coin for this information. I don't wish to put you in any danger, but if there is danger involved, I will make sure it is worth your time.
All right. Well, I mean, Lord Ankin Taskerhill is wealthiest man in town. Although Lord Vlantru is kind of coming up and making a lot of coin, a lot of noise these days. They're thinking that he might get elected to the small council pretty soon too. He's making some big moves, and but yeah, Lord Taskerhill. He's you recognize that you're messing with an arms dealer, right?
I did not, but that doesn't surprise me.
Well, you know, I'm just gonna say, if you're gonna try and kill the king, you better, you know, if you're gonna try and hit the king, you better kill the king. You know what I mean?
I'm fine with that. What is so Greg, out of character again? I don't have a sense of. I don't want to be opulent, but I'm happy to pay a solid upfront fee to him right now as sort of like a.
What do you consider to be a solid upfront fee?
I don't know. So I've got like 666 gold,
mm-hmm.
and I was thinking 50, but I don't know if that's like
50's pretty decent, man. Like that'll buy a lot of whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will pull out a nondescript coin, just sort of weigh it in my hand and just casually, you know, so not obviously, but you know, pass it off and say, you know, this is a starter fee to see what you can get. If you can get me.
What's the color of your money in here? I don't want to draw no attention to it.
Oh, it's gold, friend.
And all of it?
All of it.
Hot damn.
Hot damn indeed. And if you can find me more information, more useful information, on the down low, there will be more to follow.
Come on back tomorrow night. I'll let you know what I find.
All right, CB, you have a good night.
You too. You be safe. Hey, Brick. You know, down at the docks we got a saying. Sometimes when you fuck around, you find out. You just best be careful, okay?
Will do.
All right. All right. Lorenzo.
Yes.
How are you reaching out to your friend?
That was a question I was going to ask you because I don't even have a name for him yet.
Oh, that's right. I haven't given you... Hold on a second. Because, man, we did that so long ago. Hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, this was like many moons ago. Let me switch
What are you up to, Lorenzo?
We're pulling in all our backstories, baby. Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah, some shit's about to go down here. As I recall... Oh, that's right. Nihilus was the one whose foot you guys cut off. You wound.
Remember that when we were cutting off feet, guys?
Yeah. Hylam.
No,
Hylam.
I don't.
Hilo. Okay.
Hylam Ferrant is the guard that is the one that you talk to. Yeah. So.
I would like to find him if he's on duty or off.
Okay. Give me a investigation check. You're gonna throw your weight around with the desk sergeant, since you're at the town hall and the guard barracks are right next door. Yeah, you talk with the desk sergeant, and he's kind of like, no, he's on patrol right now. He is currently on patrol over on High Scroll Street between the Drunken Morkoth and the Slippery Eel. If you go, he's on foot patrol. Is there a particular reason why you're looking for that certain guardsman, sir?
Oh, I wanted to thank him for. We had talking before, and I wanted to thank him for a job he did.
Very good, sir. Yeah, not a problem. Yep. He's on patrol until midnight. So if you go looking for him, I'm sure you'll find him down there. And
all right.
Yeah. Anything else I could do for you, sir? It's not very often we have noblemen in here asking favors, so I always want to make sure the guard is here to assist you.
Keep up the good work. Thank you, and I will see you later.
Very good, sir. All right. Give me a perception check, because I'm assuming you're heading over there. Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to do advantage.
Ah, that's fine. 19. Okay, so you go walking. How obvious are you trying to be in your current condition?
I'm not trying to hide myself, but
Okay.
if he's with other people, I'd like to. I'll just approach me like, "Hey, can I have a private word with you?"
Okay. You do see a couple of guardsmen on foot patrol. You do recognize one of them. And yeah.
I'll approach. Officer, was it Hyam? What was it?
Hylam.
Hylam, that's right. Officer Hylam, can I have a word with you? I want to thank you for, our previous dealings before.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'd be happy to speak with you.
Yeah, just go over here and I'll take him 10 feet away out of earshot. The other two.
What, sir? What happened to you?
Oh, don't worry about that. It's just occupational hazards.
Okay.
As I'm sure you're aware.
What do you want? I can't.
I have a job for you to do. If you can get on, I'd like you to get on the roster for those who protect the locksmiths. As you're aware,
you want me to
be aware. He's been prosecuted, and the building will be sealed and maybe guarded. I'd like you, and maybe if you can have a friend that you know, to be on the roster to guard it. Particularly, let me know when you'll be on duty.
I can put in a request for the transfer. Sure. Can't guarantee I'll get it, but if I get it, I'll. How do I contact you?
Oh, if you're out there, I'll see you. And thank you for all your work you do. And I'm going to palm him a gold coin in his hand as I shake his hand.
Thank you, sir.
I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Okay, and let's cut over to Graysoul real quick. Graysoul, tell me what you're doing.
Graysoul's heading over to the Church of Hell.
Okay.
See about finding a Zone of Truth caster.
Okay. You find. Hold on a second. I just have to check and see the details on that one. Enchantment, Bard, Cleric, Paladin. Perfect. And that is a second. Okay. Yeah. You go over to the church and you find. Sorry, reading the chat here. You go over to the church and knock on the door, and Rufus answers, and he's like, "Oh, Sir Graysoul, it's how can we be of assistance?
Rufus, I'm looking for someone to cast a Zone of Truth for me.
Okay. Upon whom?
Me.
Sure. Right this way. I'm sure I can get one of the priests here to do that. Is everything okay?
No. But I'll go take up residence in one of those small rooms I was in earlier.
Okay. I'll get somebody up to you right away.
Thank you.
And on that cliffhanger, I think we'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Awesome, guys. Hey, I had a blast tonight. I hope you guys did too. If you're watching in the chat, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you guys had fun. Really, really, really having a great time, running this with everybody here. Once again, though, my name is Greg. I am a dungeon master with Mastermind Adventures. I want to run a game for you. Yes, you. I posted the link in my blog. I'll post it in the comments and in the Facebook event and everywhere else. I currently have 5 one-shots that I'm offering for the month of February. 2 of them are freebies. You can actually play them for free with a code that is actually listed in the blog entry for your convenience. So please come and join me either for the Bard Brigade Solves Mysteries, join me for Jailbreak. I still have nobody to play Drow Hard with. Who wants to be a John McClane-style hero and take on 13 Drow in an office building? Or in a cloning factory? Like, come on. Who wants to do that with me? That's going to be awesome. I also have... Ice Road Trackers, and I'm starting the Adventurers League stuff, and of course I have the Secrets of the Barrowmaze, which I'm super thrilled to start offering. That is a West Marches style mega dungeon. I'm looking for up to 50 players to go tearing through this place. Who wants to kick ass? And I think what the motto I come up with? Yes. Who wants to get rich or die trying? That's Barrowmaze right there, guys. So get rich or die trying. I want you to come and roll with me. So check me out. I've got the links up in the doodly doos. But you can also find me at mastermindadventures.com or any of the other fine DMs that we have there. Like I said, I hope I get to run a game for you guys in the future. In the meantime, Brutes, you guys are all awesome, and I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being a part of this every week. I love it, and I love you guys very dearly. Do you guys have anything you're working on that you guys want to plug or anything you want to shout out?
I just want to further endorse Jailbreak and make sure that I clarify my earlier statement of my nieces read a lot of fantasy, and it just so happened that some of the references were the few books that they had read. So it was one of those, a broken clock is right twice a day. It is a fantastic adventure. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Check it out, book Greg. It's a lot of fun.
I sincerely appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, Paul. Anybody else? You got anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to share?
I have been working on something for a while.
What are you working on, bud?
And that is getting to level 4 in this campaign.
Oh.
We are just making so much progress, and I just wanted to say how proud I am. Everybody's just working so hard towards level 4. I feel like we're about to crack it. Just any moment now, I feel like we're gonna reach that pinnacle.
Here's the thing: in the future, since a lot of us are in the entertainment business, if we're ever in an interview, by the time we reach level 20, if we get anything wrong about our class, Greg has the right to basically open hand slap us because by the time we level up, there is no excuse that we shouldn't know the ins and outs of everything that has to do with our characters.
I'm just saying, it'll be amazing what happens if any of you guys can actually roll above a 10. You start doing that, and maybe we'll see what happens. Okay.
I think we should all multi-class in rogue because there's not enough rogues in the party.
What? Well, we've got 2/3 of one. That's
less than one rogue.
Well, and eventually Wookiee will be back.
Can we do fractional multi-classing? Can I be 1/3 of a rogue?
Well, Nate's already 2/3, so why not? Yeah, maybe you guys will find that other third. But Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. If you guys want me to start kicking, I mean, the danger's going to go up commensurately, and I think the tough thing is that when I'm not that great at scaling adventures, guys. I might think that an ancient red dragon's perfect for a team of level 4s. Like I run stuff as written. I'm just saying.
I love that implied threat. Like, yeah. If you keep asking me, I will definitely put you up against something that'll kill you. Sure. Yeah. No problem.
You're gonna be here for one episode before you die.
No, none of you guys. Although a few folks watching remember the tale of my glorious Ranger Quinn Stormcaller and how. We had the culmination of an incredible love story plot and then a TPK the next episode just as it came to fruition. So that was some great times. So be careful what you wish for is all I'm saying. Anyhow,
or as you've been saying all night, Greg, fuck around and find out.
Yeah. You know what? And I always think that I'm going to highlight this now just because I'm a little proud of this, and I know it's dorky as hell, but I believe that you should dress for the job that you want. And if I'm going to be a professional dungeon master, I need a uniform. So I actually took one of my work shirts and I got some morale patches. That I'm really proud of, and I've got one here that says Dungeon Master on it because let's just put it right on the nose. The smile because I'm always smiling now, and it's always when the Dungeon Master smile, it's already too late. But then over here, in case you can't read it, it says, "But did you die?"
No, I didn't.
And then up on here, bad decisions make good stories. Which is very true. And then, God, my Latin is rusty. Let's see. Fortis fortuna adavant. Fortune favors the bold. So, and a D20 because D20. So, but yes, if you got to dress for the job that you want, I decided to make myself a Dungeon Master shirt and really just kind of lean into it. So this is my uniform now for when I'm running game for y'all. And yeah. If you guys, I should get a FAFO badge and throw it up here.
May I suggest my favorite DM quote?
Which is?
Well, you can try.
Yes, I'm just gonna start like a bunch of morale ribbons all to fill in this area, and it's just gonna be quotes. So that's it's really amazing how cheap custom patches are. So maybe and actually that gives me an idea. But anyhow. Once again, love you guys. Thank you all so much for watching once again. Hope you guys have a great night. We will see you next week. We are here every Monday night, 7 o'clock Pacific. If you're joining us from any other coast, Blake, I know we got a few folks watching tonight that are in other areas. Really, really, really appreciate you staying up late with us and hope you have fun. And we will see you all next week. Thanks again. Have a great night and roll them 20s. Thank you.